father was 100% absent in my life. Poof, be gone, nowhere to be found. I don't know him. Welcome to Beneath the Seams, where we peel back the layers of clothing and makeup that protects us and get personal. It's about me, it's about you, and what's trending too. If you have never seen this face before, hello, hi, hey girl, hey, how you doing today? I'm doing fine, thank you for asking. Listen, you could be anywhere in the world, anywhere on the internet, in the .coms and the wwws, but you chose to be right here with me. And you know what that tells me about you? You make good decisions. Today we are discussing a topic that is all too familiar for a lot of us. Daddy issues. Let's go beneath the scenes. So having daddy issues is super common in my community. I'm sure it's common in other communities too, but I can't speak for them. My father was 100% absent in my life. Poof, be gone, nowhere to be found. I don't know him. I mean, I know who he is and I know that he exists, but I don't know him. I couldn't really tell you much about him. You know, I can count the number of times on one hand that I've seen him in my entire life. Like physically seeing him, we see each other.
We see each other.
So I repeat, I don't know him. Having daddy issues is certainly a multi-layered topic, but today I want to focus on how my daddy issues have affected my dating life, or lack thereof. They say that daddy is a girl's first boyfriend, meaning the relationship you have with your father is your very first experience of how you should interact with a man. Many people swear by this and believe that it holds to be true, and honestly, based on my personal experiences, I kind of agree. If daddy is girl's first boyfriend and daddy is absent, then you would conclude that the men in her life would also be absent because daddy wasn't there. Well, that has been my exact story, so I guess that saying does hold to be true. The relationship you have with your father is your first boyfriend, and because I had none with my father, it affected me having relationships with men. Hear me out. I'm going somewhere with this. I've never dated heavily at all. In high school, while my friends were hanging out with their boyfriends after school, I was somewhere doing homework. Don't get me wrong, there were male acquaintances here and there, but nothing that compared to the high school dating life of Moesha. I mean, I even went to prom by myself. This pattern also followed me to college. Again, there were male acquaintances, little boy toys here and there, but nothing of substance, nothing ever really serious, and nothing that gave me those experiences of your 20s, you know, when you're supposed to be getting to know yourself and what you like. That never really happened for me. Having daddy issues is something that people make light of all too often. And in the black community, specifically, I said what I said.
I said what I said.
We always write things off and just brush them off as, oh, you turned out fine. Well, look at you now. You're doing all right. Don't worry about it. You're fine. Am I? To avoid confrontation and furthermore acceptance of these very real issues that affect us, we find it easier to just write it off as, oh, you turned out fine. It doesn't matter. In fact, these very words have been told to me by my mother during times when I have tried to express to her how I feel about the lack of relationship I had with my father. And I think my mama's opinion is more so from a childhood perspective in that, listen, he wasn't around, but you made it out. You made it past your childhood. You're an adult now and a decent one, so you turned out fine. And while I get where she's coming from, sorta, that isn't really the major issue at hand. As a child, you only remember but so much and you're only exposed to but so much. But as an adult, you're in control of your own life. And I have figured out in a lot of self-reflection that I desire and need and want a relationship with my father now as an adult, as a woman, far more than I ever needed it as a child. Y'all know I love music and I'm always making some type of lyrical reference. In Teyana Taylor's song, Issues Hold On, she talks about loving a man but also having issues within herself that prevent them from, you know, having progress in the relationship. She sings, "This is deeper than you and other women. This is daddy issues. This is years of putting up with the wrong type of." I felt this bar so much on a personal level. While I can't relate to the years of putting up with the wrong type of men, I can relate to the years of the men being absent in my life, largely due to my daddy issues. Because I never had any real examples of what love looked and felt like from a man, my idea of what love was and is was heavily influenced by things I saw on TV, movies, and pop culture. This began to affect my dating life because I didn't know how to be loved by a man. I had never seen it up close, and furthermore, I didn't know how to accept love from a man. This caused friction in my relationships, and particularly in my current situation, because I was so afraid to let him in. In fact, I would push him away. Some people deal with the textbook definition of daddy issues, which is you never receive the proper love, affection, and attention from your father, so then you didn't seek it elsewhere. But mine was a little bit of the opposite. It was opposite because I wasn't seeking the love, affection, or attention at all. I felt like, well, my dad didn't love me enough to choose to be around, so I know that there's no chance of you even sticking around, so why even bother letting you in? Why even bother making an attempt? Because you're just gonna pull off because my dad never even pulled up. I then realized that I was exuding that energy. It was the aura that was orbiting around me, and perhaps that's why I had some issues when it came to dating. Energy is real. It is indeed transferable, and people can read you. They can feel your vibes, they can feel your energy, your insecurities, and even your fears. Now, there were a few clowns who needed to feel that energy so that they can move along. But when this started to affect the good guy, that's when I noticed this is a real problem that I have to attack head on. I read a quote on Instagram that said, "The most profound thing we can offer ourselves is healing." And while I'm not all the way there yet, pray for me by and by, I am working on it. I realized that I needed to begin to forgive my father so that I can heal for myself and for my future self. Moral of the story is, we cannot allow the issues in our lives that we didn't create affect our happiness, our growth, and our prosperity. I didn't choose for my father to not be in my life. He did, and it's his loss. But I am going to choose to not allow his absence and his lack of loving me to prevent me from allowing another man to love me. Boom. Alright, I love to end things on a positive note per usual, as you guys know by now. You know, sometimes it could get a little deep up in here, and I like to, redirect the energy, switch it on back to positivity. This week's inspiration is brought to you by Healing While Black, which is an Instagram page dedicated to mental health and healing, particularly towards Black people. The page is filled with quotes centered around positivity and different ways that we need to heal ourselves. And this one says, "Your dad hurt you too, bruh. It's impacting your relationship with your partner and kids. You may not see it, but it's happening and you need to heal." Listen, that certainly ties into today's topic. We definitely cannot continue to allow the traumas of our past to continue to prevent us from having a future and enjoying the now. We definitely have to heal. Alright y'all, that will do it for today's edition of Beneath the Seams. Listen, I am really finding it therapeutic to share these types of stories with you all, and I recommend that you do so as well if you can relate and if you can identify. We must continue to heal, and I definitely think talking through it and about it has been very healing for me. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Can you relate? What is your relationship like with your dad? I really want to hear from people who have also had great relationships with their dad and how that has impacted your dating life as well. Let me know. Let's keep the conversation going down in the comments. And I need you to do one last thing. While you're on your way out, I need you to double tap that ass. And by ass, I mean mine in this video. Give it some likes, some love, some comments, some hearts. Listen, I need you guys to share this, Share with your mama, your daddy, your sister, your brother. Actually, share it with your daddy. Share it with him twice, because Some daddies need to hear this. I might send it to mine. He be stalking me on Facebook, so I might slide this right on his inbox, okay? So share it, because sharing is caring. And I appreciate you so much for doing so. Listen, I gotta get out of here. I gotta go pay some bills. I'm probably not gonna pay them, but I need to go do it anyway. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.